Hey everyone, what's up? So, a bit of a different stream today. Oh, hardcore, huh? A bit of a different stream today, so obviously this ain't live. It ain't live because I'm on a road trip this weekend, so this is pre-recorded. So I'm sorry everybody in chat. I'm sorry I can't respond to you live. Or actually, I might actually be in the chat. Hello myself. Might actually be able to join in the chat, but I definitely won't be able to do this. So, hence this is pre-recorded. What we're going to do today, I'm actually just going to jump right into it, but what we're going to do today is mainly look at a program I talked about earlier, which was SharpShares, which is a way to enumerate shares on a network. And I pointed out one of the flaws in SharpShares is that it ain't, you can't give it credentials. It's basically totally, it needs to be running in the context of the user, which has the rights to access shares. You can't give it the credentials like you can with Rubeus and other Sharp tools. So we're going to change that. We're actually going to steal some code from Rubeus to be able to create the sort of the authentication credential profile, I think it's called, in C Sharp, and add that to SharpShares. So first of all, let me just check that my VM is up and running. Everything looks good. Oh, that doesn't look great. Probably the resolution here. Let's change that. Oh, the resolution is fine. What's the matter then? Oops. Doing some live editing here, folks. Just ignore this. Fit the screen. There we go. Okay, that looks better. And that looks also correct. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So the setup for today is basically I got my domain controller here, which is on the network, and then this attacker machine is not domain joined, but it's on the same network. So I can ping the domain controller, I can reach the domain controller, but obviously unless I were to create a net only session or something like that, I can't do anything towards the domain controller in with applications. So this domain controller IP is 511. So sorry, 58 111. So if I just open a new session here and ping that real quick, I can reach that. It's in my network. Awesome. Is my mic filtering on? Yep, awesome. So let's first of all just pull SharpShares, right? So there's multiple versions of SharpShares. So there's one version who's pretty straightforward, and then somebody added a bunch of stuff to it. So let's see if I can find both of them. So yeah, okay. So this is the original one. It's pretty simple. It's either list IPs with shares or list the shares of computers it finds. And then you have this, which is a lot more, gives you a lot more options. So obviously you can choose what sort of computers, because what SharpShare does is it queries computers from the domain controller over LDAP, and then it searches through those for shares. This always allows you to select, do you want all computers? Do you want just domain controllers? Do you want to exclude domain controllers? Do you want servers? Or do you want servers without domain controllers, etc.? So I'm going to be working based off this. So thank you so much, Mitch Mooser, for creating this. So let me just open this in PowerShell and clone that repo real quick. And then, as I said, we're going to be stealing some cold. We're going to be stealing some code. We're going to be stealing some code from Rubeus because they do this. So let's just clone that project as well. Now Rubeus is a huge project. I hopefully we will be able to pinpoint what part of Rubeus actually does the authentication. And we also need to add some input arguments to SharpShares. So first of all, let's take a look at Rubeus. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Again, real life Melvin or real time Melvin will hopefully be here and respond to you guys. This is going to be a bit slow since it's a rather huge project. So come on. Sure, let's retarget this. Why not? Doesn't really. I don't think it matters. At least not going upwards. Okay, so program.cs. Oh my god, this is slow. basically checks if we want this to a file or if it should just print to through the output. It's parsing strings, reading strings, blah blah blah. So it's parsing some arguments. Argument parser parse, and takes those, splits it into indexes, puts it all into direction. Basically puts everything into direct. Yeah, just checks that everything's okay. So if it isn't okay, show logo usage. If it's okay, main execute. There we go. So we want to find the part where, so I believe, let me show you this. So let me just build this real quick. So I believe that in Rubeus, there's, hopefully there is an input parameter for username and password. So let me just, let this run. Rubeus, it says user, and then also somewhere yeah, cred password user, cred user, cred password, I think is the main ones we're looking for here. Cred password, cred user. Okay, so let's take a look at where cred password is. So I'm just going to copy that, just going to control F, not H, search for that in the entire solution, and there we go, we got a reference to it. So it checks for cred user. If cred user is there, it splits it up. It assumes that the cred user is domain and the username, so it splits it up into the domain and username. Then it checks if the cred password key is there. If it is, that's the password, and then it creates a new network credential, which is just a system network credential, which it gives to, in this case, ASP.REP roast. I'm assuming the same criteria will happen if you give it to curb roast, right? So this is sort of the part we want. So let's actually just go full out and do this, and then let's open SharpShares. So SharpShares, this should load way quicker. God, I can't talk today. I'm sorry about that. And I got nothing to drink at all. I'm unprepared today. That's not great. Okay, let's open SharpShares and let's look at this logic. So this should just, yeah. So it basically checks if you want to give it a custom LDAP query or if you want to search based on the OU, which is the custom one. So arguments LDAP, that's a string. If that is not empty, then it will search the LDAP using that LDAP query, or it will search the OU using OU. Now, okay, so that's all. So an OU is a part of an LDAP query, basically. So both of these should be fine. What we want an extra check to see if we got both username and password supplied as an argument. If we do not have username and password supplied, then we want to take the current context. So what I'm guessing is that into the search OU and search LDAP parameters, it probably creates new directory entry. That's fine. So somewhere in here, it just sort of assumes that you have access. Then shouldn't there be like assume something? Yeah, this is the part I'm looking for, I think. So this is search LDAP, and it gets the current forest. So this is the logic we're looking to replace, basically. Yeah, this is afterwards. So this is doing the actual lookup. So what is this? Search global. Okay, so it's two different search modes. In search LDAP and in search OU, it also creates a new directory. Because I think if we go into the ASP roast and we take a look at the user and password who came in, it checks if it's null and empty, and then yeah, this is it. So this is basically a directory entry object, and then we create a directory searcher based on that entry instead of creating an entry based on search base. So this search base is basically telling, the search base is basically the LDAP endpoint we're looking. So either you can give it that endpoint, or it will locate it itself using get current forest, which will give it a catalog, which will give it a directory searcher. So this is two ways to do it. So either you don't give it an OU, you only give it sort of what you want to look up, and then it has to find the OU yourself, or you can give it the entire OU. So either way, we want to authenticate to that directory as a user. So it has something called get LDAP search route, which takes the credential, network credential, and gives it back a directory entry. So this is basically all we need. So we need this network function here. So I'm going to pull this out, and then in both of these, I'm basically just going to include, I guess credential would be the easiest way to do it, right? Because it creates the credential previously. So just the cred is network credential. So I'm going to do, yeah, I'm going to do network credential cred. And then it's probably not going to find that, either because I can't type or because I did something else wrong. Let's see. Nope, I just need to include it. And then it probably checks somewhere, probably in this, if that credential is empty or something. Yeah, so it's if it's null. If we don't have a DC or a domain but have credentials, give them... okay, so cred basically... So if cred is null, then we don't have credentials. So in this case, I want to add this to the search OU as well. Which is here. So basically, if cred is 0, we want to do it like it does here. But if cred is not 0, we want to create that new directory entry using those credentials. So basically, if cred is null, we do something, and if it's not null, we do something else. So if cred is null, we want to continue and create the my searcher in this way. So we can do it like that, and we're going to do this. Entry is probably not used outside of this. Yeah, it is. It's disposed afterwards. So what we do is that we do this, and then we just declare it as a null value. The same we do for this, and then we remove these. So it's globally referencing it. So we create the directory entry and directory searcher as null values at first, sort of as a buffer. Global, or technically not global, but create outside of if as null, so we can access it. And then if the cred is not null, then we can use those credentials to create that directory entry, which will create that directory searcher. So I actually don't think the directory searcher needs to be outside. Let's see. So if cred is not null, return directory entry, which is, okay, so it needs that path anyhow. Okay. So directory object is a new directory entry, which is actually this, but it uses the bind path. Yeah, this is unrelated to the credentials. Oh, okay, so it sets it afterwards. Okay, so I think we can keep this actually. Yeah, we can keep this. Yeah, we can totally keep this. Yeah, we can totally keep this. So basically, everything I did was unnecessary because I can't code, I think. If I'm thinking correctly now, this should be fine. So basically, if that directory object, which is this, which is a directory entry, we create that based on the search space, which is fine, which we supplied. But then we're going to override the usernames and credentials in that directory entry before we give it to the directory searcher, so we can authenticate as another user. Awesome. Which is great. Okay. So that should be fine, basically. Ooh, so I need to set domain as well. When is that set? So, let's find the reference to that. cred. So to create the cred, no, the final reference to this. Actually, let's just go way back. Networking, cred. Yeah, so it's either 0 or we give it a credential, and that's that credentials. Okay, awesome. So we need the domain name as well. Okay, so surgery has that. Let's go back to program. That's gonna complain now. That's fine. So I'm just gonna put through here now, but if the arguments contain domain, username, and password, and also I'm just gonna put this to null. And then I'm gonna put that into cred here. Great. So cred, awesome. Then we need to, okay, so before I add the arguments, I'm gonna finish what I did for both of the functions. So for search OU, that's really it. So I give it my own OU, but then halfway in, I basically give it my own credentials. Give it the credentials we set. If it's not 0, if it's 0, we don't give it any credentials, because then we assume we are in the context with credentials. Okay, awesome. So let's go into the search LDAP and then basically do the same thing. So we're gonna remove that, get current forest. So basically, yeah. So here it creates a directory searcher based on a global catalog. So it's because I don't think we can put the username on directory searcher. No, we can't. So how does Rubeus does this when not provided a domain? So it's always provided a domain, right? It gets the domain name like that, and then what do we do with it? Okay, so this is basically what we're looking for. So you can create directories. Oh, this is basically just what we did. So yeah. Oh, okay. So this is nice. You can get the global catalog. Just looking for overrides here. Yeah. Okay. So you can give it a directory context, because we need that directory entry to be able to give it credentials, basically. So I think this is going to be too. So that's fine, but then we need this to. So does that have an override? I'm gonna find out now. Nope. 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 So you can create a new directory context. Okay. So instead of get current forest, you can get the. I just want to copy this out so I have it before I break everything. So I think you can get the forest and then from a directory entry, right? No, you need directory context. Directory context, what is that? Oh. Context type. Okay, this looks interesting. Actually, let's look at the Rubeus again. So I mean, we can skip it, can't we, right? Because we're giving it. Yeah, we could just create our own directory searcher. Because I don't think we use the global catalog at all. No, we just use the directory searcher. So yeah, we can just do so the only difference here is that on the other one we defined a bunch of other properties as well as the no, that's different. So okay, so here we created a directory entry based on a search space. Here we just create a new directory entry based on nothing. Okay. Let's try. Let's do some searching here. So because I do genuinely think that we need this get forest entry to be able to do stuff. Because that goes into global catalog. What do we use the global catalog for now? That's for searching. That's just some. Yeah, I think I was in. I generally think I was on the right track here. Let's go back a bit. So I need to find out what this directory context stuff is all about. Let's see. So I think I'm supposed to do it like this, but I think I'm supposed to do a new directory context. Directory context. Not type, but just the context. And then put that into this and that. And then get current forest, get forest, form a context. And then this directory context is supposed to have a context type. Directory context type. Domain. Okay. I see where this is going. The name. Username and password. Yeah, awesome. So this skips the whole credential stuff, basically, then. So here I can do create username, create password. I think it's going to be So do I have to do like this then, probably? That should be fine. Okay, so it actually tries the global catalog and then... Okay, so I need this same logic I used down here basically here as well. Like that. Okay. Cool. No idea if this will work, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so now we basically need to create this network credentials properly. That's basically it, I think. So how do we add arguments? Okay. Arguments. New arguments. Okay, where's the properties for these arguments? Okay, so domain, username. Actually, the domain should be in the username. So password. You just gotta get that. This. Oh wait, what? I fucked up. Sorry. Yeah, so it uses the domain separately, but it splits it. Gotcha. Right. So the domain name is the first part when you split it on the circle. So in this case, that's going to be basically username split yada yada. So actually fucked up there. That's supposed to be there. That's supposed to be username. That's supposed to be username. Username, password, domain. Yep. Sounds about right. Don't need this. Don't know why I thought I needed that. And then I can basically check if a string is null or empty. It's not, that is. And string null or empty, arguments, password. Then we could use this. Then we have a credential. If not, it's null. It's going to bypass it. It's going to be all hunky-dory. And then we need to go into the argument parser and get it to parse, right? So that's going to be options, argument values. So I added the keys, and then I just need to... so targets is a string, or is targets. There we go. So username, password. Okay. Let's add that to the Okay, cool. Okay, so technically this should compile and work. Is that what I'm saying? Okay, awesome. So I guess let's find some credentials then, right? Let's find some credentials. I'm just snatching up some credentials there off screen. Which of these are valid no more? I guess Adam's still valid, right? No. Fuck, I forgot to hold in shift. If you didn't know, shift and then right click is gonna give you the open in PowerShell window. If you don't use Windows a lot, maybe you didn't know that. SharpShares gives me the menu, username and password is there. Let's try to give it a username. Then password. And then, yeah, might need to enclose that. Actually, might need to enclose both. And then I guess LDAP. Nope. Oh. Okay, so it did something. Not sure what it did though. So one thing I need to give it is probably the domain controller to target. Right, because it has no idea where the DC is. So let's look at Rubeus again. So, okay, so it gives network credentials, that's fine. So how does it use the DC stuff? So let's take a look at domain controller. Domain controller. It should resolve this based on the domain. Is that the thing here? Okay, so that might be one issue. So it doesn't know the domain controller here. Okay, so I guess that's the issue with. Okay, let me show you a pro tip for debugging. So if you have applications like this that have arguments, you can basically just do args and then split it on space, and then array. Oops, don't need that apparently. This, and then I can just copy in all this. And then you might need to escape some stuff. So you can do this to avoid that, or apparently not. So we just need to escape this, and then escape that, escape this, and then we're good to go. And it's a char with strings, you can split it on something, and then you should see that all the arguments are there. So you can see all the arguments should be there. Yep. Username, strong pass. Parsed okay, yep. Command name. Am I in Rubeus right now? Yeah, I'm in Rubeus. What the frick? That was a bit weird. I was like, what is happening? Okay, let's try again. So it checks, if password is empty, which it is, and username is. But that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so oh, I fixed it. I fixed it, guys. Oh my god, lol. If this was live, I'm sure somebody would have pointed that out and made less of a fool of me. But nobody did. Now it should make a network credential. That's for perfect. And then it's going to search LDAP. Let's go into that, see what happens here. So blah 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 blah. Switch LDAP. It's fine. search global catalog, sure, forest is 0, then we create a new forest entry, and then it's an exception. A name presenter must be an active directory domain controller or forest, parameter name, context. Okay, so we are missing something in this directory context here. Let's actually rerun that so I can see that value in real time. So let's just basically, and then jump over that, and then oh, context type. Okay, so the domain needs to be set here then probably, right? Name, yeah, name is the domain. So that needs to be pulled from this, which I believe is this basically. So beepity, boppity, boopity, beepity. And then we might run into a case where it can't actually resolve the domain controller for this domain. We'll see if that is the case now. Oh, okay. So then the username. No, wait. I'm so stupid. What am I doing? I need the split thing. Where's the split thing, Reno? I need the splitterino. I don't need this. Why am I using this? This is so stupid. I need to split it. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so that needs to be removed, and then that needs to be removed. Again, if I had the live audience, people would tell me, but nope. Okay, so that's fine, that's fine. And now we need to create this new directory context with a domain specified. Not just in the username, but it's specified. So I need, my understanding now is that, so for this, basically, if I want the domain, it needs to be loop split. And then I guess the first one. So the first one is going to be the domain, and then the second one is going to be the actual username. Now let's look at that, see what that looks like. Don't need that then. BPD, BAPD. Now that start now. What is going on here? The name is Legit Corp. The username is this. Awesome. Get forest with that entry. Exception. The name specified in must be an action domain control or forest. Parameter name context. The specified forest does not exist that can be contacted. Do I need the fully qualified domain? Maybe. Might also be that I don't have a DNS entry for legitcop.local, which I'm guessing is actually the case. Yep, no entry, right? So I need to fix that. That can be fixed by adding it to hosts. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not stupid, and that's the thing. Because even though this computer ain't in a domain context, it's either going to need the IP or be able to resolve the domain controller. So, so directory context doesn't have an override for credentials? No, it does not. So it still can't resolve it. So let's try adding it to the host file. So that the host file, let's open Notepad++ in administrator mode. I think I already have the host file open. Yes, I do. So let's add that. See what happens now. We can actually resolve the domain. Still that error. Okay, so let's take a step back here and see if we can find other examples in Rubeus using this. So I'm going to search for this basically in Rubeus. So it creates a new network credential. Let's add that as a debug point. Then it goes into OSPROST using that credential and the DC. If it does not have a credential, then it will probably use the context. So we know we should go into this one. It's the same function, for God's sakes. So, oh, why did I do that? Stop. I didn't want to debug. I want to go into it. So, all right. So we know we have credentials and we know we have a domain controller. So if we have a domain controller, it does an OSPRE. Okay. So it doesn't even use the cred file at all? Oh, this is what I'm looking for. I skipped this. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm such a silly man. I skipped this earlier. Oh my god, I don't... This is basically a stream of me struggling. Okay, so this is what I want, basically. This returns a directory entry based on credentials, an OU name that can be 0, and a domain controller. Which basically just creates a new directory entry. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to steal this. I'm going to steal this entire network class. Yep. So I'm seeing some errors here, so there's interrupt stuff. Just gonna smack that class into the same one because I don't want to include the entirety of freaking Rubeus. I just want it to work. So now it's complaining about some Luid stuff. This, so where does that come from? Come from this. Hey, no errors. Now we have a function called beep beep beep. Now we have a function called get LDAP search route, which is what we want to use now. So credentials, that's fine. Let's parse that down to search LDAP, and then it does that. That's fine. And now it does this search global catalog thing, which why is that toggle? What is this toggle? I gotta figure out what this toggle is. So, but why does search LDAP, who's only supposed to search with LDAP, get the option for, like, what is the freaking help menu here? Jesus, let me go back to this. No, let me use the help menu. Where is that? So it's LDAP can be either of these. So it could be all DC exclude DC, whatever. And then that is a string that is parsed into search LDAP. And then there's a switch based on that, which sets... Oh, okay. Okay, so it based... Okay, now I get it. I get it now. Okay, so basically the reason it sometimes has to use the search global catalog is because that the operating system attribute is not replicated in the global catalog. So for that, we need to use some other stuff. But why do you want to use the search global catalog at all? That's my question. Why not just use this one? Sorry. Why not just use this one? Why do you want to use the search global catalog? At all? Like, what's the point? Okay, so I'm gonna go for a solid thing here. So I'm guessing there's somebody in the comment section right now in the chat going, it's this reason. I don't know why. But for this right now, I'm just going to skip the whole search global catalog thingy. Simply just gonna go nope on that basically. And instead of using that, we're going to use the method that works for all of them. So remove that, search global catalog, don't need you. We're going to use this directory entry thing, because with this directory entry thing, I can do what Rubeus does, and that's what I want to do. So with get LDAP this thingy, I can do networking maybe, get LDAP search root. I can give it creds. I can also give it an OU name, which I'm gonna give it domain controller and domain. So the domain can be pulled from the cred. So domain. And then the domain controller, we might want to give it. So I think it can be empty actually. Okay. So and then we need a domain controller there, or just DC. And for that, then we need to add DC here, basically. And that can be empty. That is my understanding right now, that can be empty. So I mean, okay, so in this case, okay, that works out great. That works out great. So when we do it this way, we can give it a DC, but it can be empty. It doesn't matter because we might have the OU. So when we do it this way, we can basically do string DC and we have the OU. But the DC might be empty. So boop, beep, bap. Search space. Don't need none of that. Fuck that. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So now it's going to complain about the domain controller not being there at this stage, and that's fine. So basically, string domain controller equals. Okay, so we can just give it arguments domain controller basically. Arguments DC. And we haven't created that yet, so we need to create that. Beep de bap de boot. So let's add DC, and then like we did with everything else, DC DC, and then we need to add awesome. Okay, so now we're starting to get it. So with all this, I should be able to do DC and then 192.168.58.111, and then we should have magic, people, magic. Boop, LDAP, go into that. It's going to choose this and then try this, which is going to give me a directory entry. I don't care about that. My searcher, bloody. Unknown error. God damn it. Oh, I forgot to include the... Okay, actually, let's go into this. And those are actually... Okay, so I don't need that slash, though. Definitely don't need that slash. Or this, I mean. And that's probably because of this. Yeah, that's because of this. So let's get rid of this. Don't need that. Don't need that. So I get a much cleaner result, and I get domain controller IP, and I get the actual domain. So LDAP prefix is going to be the domain controller. Then it's going to do some magic and find the LDAP OU. Awesome. It's going to do some more magic. Find the bind path. Awesome. Awesome. And create a new directory object attacking that. Awesome. And then if credit is not 0, it's going to... Okay, here's where we went wrong, basically. This is where it went wrong. Because we are including the domain in it. So that's where it went wrong. Because the cred username, if I recall correctly, actually includes the domain in by default, since we include that as an argument. Yeah, it does. So we don't need to have that twice. Awesome. Then we have a solid directory object. Ooh, okay, okay, no. The username or password is incorrect. Okay, but that's something. Hey, I can work with that. Fuck yeah, I can work with that. Okay, so let's actually go to domain controller. And oh, what's this called? Like, I'm never in the GUI server manager. No, Active Directory users and computers. Let's create a new user. So let's create a new user. Let's call him demo user. Last name, oops, demo user. Demo user. Next. Let's actually, I'm just gonna write this down so I immediately don't forget it. So demo user, and then I'm going to give him super strong pass 2021. No, that's okay. So that's, I almost fell into the trap of every customer I ever hack. So let's spice this up. Let's use that password, and then on the DC side we're going to give it a password. Password expires. Why not? Because, you know, I'm a sysadmin, right? Let's try this, see if that works. Oh, it's thinking. It's thinking. And exception. The referral was returned. A referral was returned from the server. A referral? What the fuck does that mean? A referral was... What does that mean? A referral was sent from the server? Maybe I need to get some rights first? So, add to group. No. Oh my god, I'm so glad not a freaking... I'm gonna give it domain admin. Why not? To see if I actually can do anything. Why is it? What is that error? What the fuck are you talking about, administrator? Let's try DC then. Well, at least it's authenticating, so technically it's working. but I'm having some issues with some stuff. Oh, of course, because it's not local. God damn it, I gave it the wrong domain name. It's legitcorp.net. Jesus Christ, guys. Frick. That's hopefully it. That's hopefully it. That's it. Whoop whoop. Hey, it works. God damn it. Freaking awesome. Okay. So now we got an authenticated session going on here, and that should be able to just print out our hosts. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And now to access the shares. Now that's going to be 100% another episode, but also I think it's tiny bit different because if I recall correctly, the implementation here is no. Yeah, okay, so now we have to do some identity stuff. We basically have to do some identity stuff to be able to access these shares. So, okay, you know what? Let's actually look into this quick. From password? From cred? Ooh. Is it that easy? Because if it's that easy, then you know this. Oh, okay. So this guy has something called a simple impersonation library, which I'm gonna give a go and hope doesn't infect me with the virus. That would be great. What is the logon type though? I mean, can I do this now? So I get that it's unnecessary technically to recreate this, but I want to try something. So split. Let's try this, see what happens. If this works, I'm gonna be super happy. Honestly, I didn't think I would get to this point where trying to authenticate to the shares as well. Because authenticating to LDAP is one thing. That is... Oh yeah, I need to split that as well. Let's see if this works. If this works, I'm gonna be super happy. The username or password is incorrect. Pretty sure it's not, but whatever. So did that even give it a login attempt? Don't know why. I might have to look into this more. Again, I doubt that I will get around this just now, because it's I need to. The other stuff I was able to sort of prepare, but this I don't know. Hmm. Okay, so that's the. I'm gonna give this one more go, and then I'm going to stop. Um, one more go, and then I'm gonna stop. Yeah, okay, so you linked me to a library by Guy, but you don't tell me what the library name is? That's something from 2015, guys. I have a feeling I simply might not be on the correct page here. Let's see. I think simple impersonation should probably work, but oops. Okay. I'm gonna give it one more shot, then I'm gonna stop. Jesus. I keep saying that, and it keeps getting worse and worse. I'm thinking maybe new credentials. If you're trying to connect the SQL server with trust and they're using specified credentials, remember. So the thing is that I kind of want to see what. I kind of want to see what this Windows identity does, but I'm given no object or anything, right? That's a safe access token. Provide safe access to token handle. To the token handle. Oh. whatever. Impersonate, maybe X. Safe access token handle. Safe access token handle to in pointer. Doesn't that want an in pointer? I don't get it. In pointer, right? Yeah, shouldn't that work? I don't care why that doesn't work. Cannot convert. Okay, let's try again here. Let's just try get current and see if that works. What annoys me a bit is that I can't, due to it being peril, I can't sort of stop within it. So I might actually change that. Let's try that actually. So instead of doing that multi-threaded stuff, let's just do it like this. See if we can actually catch the error. The credentials should be fine. Oh, why isn't the secure password fine? Oh, it's network credentials. Network credentials. Yeah, it ain't user credentials, it's network credentials. Yeah, so this is what fails. I don't want this SID value. I want the SID value of the user. Okay, I have to stop now. I have to run. But okay, so basically to round it up, all we have to do is find another way to impersonate the user using the credentials we have to get the SID, because this application uses the SID values to determine if we can access, write, read or not. Once we've done that, this is basically done, 100%. So yeah, I guess this is a great introduction on how you could use huge projects like Rubeus to pull out specific pieces of utility and code to upgrade existing tooling, which is super interesting. And I mean, yeah, I thank you so much for joining in the stream. Sorry, it couldn't be live. You know, it's getting close into summer. I just got my, last week I got my Tesla Model 3. So I'm super stoked to go on drives and enjoy that experience. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, see you next time next Sunday. Enjoy it. Bye bye.